What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, let me just say this before we get started, all right? I know that we have a lot of African American men in our community, some good portion that have had troubles with the law. I know some of you brothers have redeemed yourself and you have paid your debt to society. So I don't want you to be offended at what I'm going to say, and I don't want you to take it as being elitist. But I want to talk about Angela Simmons, all right? Angela Simmons is a beautiful lady, close to being 40 now, who finds herself as a single mom, all right? And the reason why this is, her fiance, Mr. Sutton Tennyson, was killed, shot to death in 2018. Okay? Now, very recently, a man by the name of Michael Williams has been sentenced to life for the murder just recently. All right? And Angela Simmons spoke to, on the behalf of her fiance, talking about, how hard it is, how hard it was raising the child. She gave an emotional speech explaining that her 5-year-old son asked when her dad will come home. She will never know, her son will never know his father, and those sorts of things. But I want to talk about something that's alleged, all right? Mr. Tennyson had a lengthy background as far as criminal records are concerned. Okay? He was involved in credit forgery, identity theft, drug possession, police obstruction charges, and there's rumors that he died because of a drug deal that went bad. But I want to talk about this because in this case, Angela Simmons is talking about what her child is going to be going through. And this is not just the only thing, because it was alleged in 2016 he was cheating on her. But I want to talk about women like Angela Simmons and black women in general, that when they make a decision on who is the wrong guy, and he could have had his life changed, I'm not sure. But if he was still dealing in drugs or illegal activities, and that murder happened to do with that, then here's what you find many sisters doing. Allegedly, she lost her virginity to this guy. You're then chasing other black men like Little Romeo or Romeo Miller to be your stepfather for the kid. Because when you had the chance to date a guy like that, you don't. You want to go and deal with somebody else who possibly is living a life that is dangerous to you and himself. All right? Because we know how Mr. Tennyson died. So obviously, there is some danger in the lifestyle or alleged lifestyle that he could have been living. You then get into the court and talk about how your child is going to be suffering because they have his father. And I get that. But if these things are true, why do you pick somebody like that to have the child with? And this is nothing against Mr. Tennyson at all, or guys who have had problems in the past. Because I'm going to tell you why. Angela Simmons came from an elite household. Okay? Your dad's part of Run DMC. Your uncle is Russell Simmons. You've lived a privileged life. You're a beautiful young lady. You could have any guy, not any guy, but who do you decide that you deal with? I mean, he ain't the first guy that you didn't deal with that has some issues, allegedly. Bow Wow. All right? But who do you pick? You don't pick the guy that you need. You don't pick the guy that would really be good for you long term. You pick the guys that are dangerous, that are exciting, that have problems. Like Bow Wow.
He ain't lying.
And then when it's time for you to go out there and you feel like, oh, it's so hard being a single mom. Oh, let me now go get the guy that I need. It's kind of like the people who, they pay all of their, they buy everything with their paycheck and then they're hustling to pay the bills. That's Angela Simmons. And it's not just her. It's many women in our community like that. And you'd be surprised how many of them come from two-parent households. Not every black woman you see is coming from a single mother-led home. I actually would have more respect for that. But when you come up in a home where your parents try to raise you right, they gave you the opportunities, and then you find yourself like this, to be real, what she was doing and who she was hanging out with, how did she even meet this guy? And like I said, it's no disrespect to Mr. Tennyson, because she had a different life planned out for her. And now you're crying to the courts. But if you knew that he had some issues in his life, he had a certain lifestyle he was living, clearly that could have negative implications for you and the child. But did you think about that? No. And then once he passed away, you're looking for little Romeo Miller to stop what he was doing to come back and feel sorry for you. So the court's supposed to feel sorry for you because of your decisions. Romeo Miller is supposed to be sorry for your decisions. And the thing about it is, people are tired of feeling sorry for certain ladies and their decisions. Like, nobody has time for that. Okay? Because when men have bad decisions, we got to pay for that. Let me tell you like this. There are too many women in America, in the world today, that make good decisions that women who make poor decisions have to compete against. Let me say it again. There are too many good women in America who make good decisions that women who make negative decisions or bad decisions have to compete with. And that's the problem. They forget that as these guys are coming up, you don't want those guys, right? The guys who are, oh, he's a friend, all this. Okay, that guy becomes somebody. Guess who you're trying to get with now? Oh, yeah, that guy don't want you anymore. Because now he's coming to his own. Then you're the same person crying about how hard it is being a single parent. Well, here's an idea. Why don't you pick somebody who's going to be a parent? And I'm saying this. I understand things can happen. Your husband can die, anything and all that kind of stuff. You didn't even make the guy marry you before you had a baby for him. You didn't. You didn't make the guy have a baby before you at all. Nothing. Marry me, give me this and all this stuff. If you're doing the wrong thing, hey, listen, baby, you gotta stop doing this stuff. Listen to what I'm saying. As long as these dudes are making money and paying the bills, they don't even care where these dudes are getting the money from. They don't care. It doesn't even matter where they get it from. And then there's no accountability on the people you hang around. It's no accountability on the folk who you hang around or you deal with. None. It's like, woe is me, I'm having this problem. Why don't somebody come and save me? And guess what? I can tell you like this, the world doesn't care. The world has too many problems to be sitting around thinking about people who make bad decisions. And some of y'all don't like it, but it's fine. It's fine. Why were you with a guy who had this kind of history when your family worked so hard to put you in a position to deal with somebody who didn't have that history? Questions that need answers. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk, where we appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe at the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.